What's going on, YouTube? Rudy El Segundo. Another video. This video is going to be not a review on the Glock, because you know what a Glock is. You know what a Glock can do. This video is going to stress some points on the versatility behind a Glock and what can be done, and why I think this is one of the best, if not the best, models that money could buy. This is a must, fellas, and I'll explain to you why I feel and believe the way I do about this gun. This particular model is chambered in .40 Smith & Wesson. This is a Generation 2 Glock 23. So it's one of the original Glocks. Obviously, it's missing the ergonomic grip. It's missing the rails. Not needed, fellas. It's really not needed. It's also missing the double recoil spring. The original Glocks and the proven Glocks had the single spring, making the they call it a little bit of a snappy feel. It did have a little bit of a snappy feel, especially this Smith & Wesson, the .40 Smith & Wesson. You'll hear words like snappy, high recoil, and if you jump into plus P ammo, you'll definitely feel that recoil on this model, on the Gen 2, because of that single spring. But this isn't about the Gen 2. This is a video on the versatility, and by that I mean, what can this model, what can this Glock, what can the Glock do aside from shooting .40 caliber? You can buy a lot of aftermarket parts. Here's a couple of them. This is a 40-9 Lone Wolf conversion barrel, and what that means, you can convert a .40 Smith & Wesson to shoot 9mm ammo. This here is a double recoil spring specifically for the Gen 2 Glock. It's a double recoil spring, a spring within a spring, and this I use to run ammo such as plus P or plus P plus, which has a lot more kick, a lot more recoil. It's going to make the recoil a lot easier to manage. Another aftermarket part are pinky extensions, or single round extensions that I have on this. These are a couple, maybe about $5-6 that you could buy them on eBay. You can buy them on Amazon. You can go through, go on the internet. You'll find them. They're not hard to come by. But they got magazines like crazy for this. This particular model is the Compact, which is the mid-size gun. It's called the Compact Glock 23. There's a full size, and then there's a subcompact, which is the baby Glock. I'm sure you guys have seen those. It's a Glock 26 in 9mm and Glock 27 chambered in .40. Just a quick note, guys, the chambered, if it is chambered in .40, like the Glock 27, the Glock 23 magazines will fit the, in other words, the larger size will fit the smaller size. So the full-size Glock magazines will fit this, and will also fit the subcompact, like the Glock 26 and 27. Again, this is chambered in .40 Smith & Wesson, and just to give you guys a quick, if you notice, that's a 9mm. If you do choose to run that conversion barrel, the only other thing you have to stock up on is our 9mm magazines. And they will fit the Glock 23 model. It does fit it. I've run the system. I usually shoot plus P, so I'll go ahead and swap out the single spring to that double spring. Very versatile. You can find magazines in 9mm, extra long magazines. I believe it's 22, not certain, 22 capacity. It's high capacity magazines. You can find them in 9mm and you can find them in .40. How's this toy looking, guys? How's that for versatility? You can make your Glock a small little carbine system. This here is called the Roni. The Glock Roni pistol carbine conversion. Add a bipod to it. You can add a stock. You can add the rear stock. You can put a forend on it, but then you got to pay the tax credit or the tax fee. This system here, there's no tax fee behind it. And how this works, you pop those two pins right here that I started off already. Pop those pins, open it up, and then the Glock falls right into place. After you put on this, it's to rack the slide. Just pop that in as such. Slide it into the chamber. You slide it in, it should lock right into place, fellas. Sorry about that. I'm struggling here, but I'm a one-man band, guys. Alright, that's what you're looking at. You close it up, pop the pin in, pop the other pin in, and this right here, guys, is a little carbine conversion. Put a 1-point sling on the back of that, and you could run it inside a trench coat. Remove that bipod. This is a bipod aftermarket. It didn't come with the system, with the Roni system. I added that on. I take this to the range. It's a toy for me, guys. But a lot more control with this. A lot more control with the system. But if you know, like I said, Glock and companies such as this Roni, I believe it's the CAA. I'll find out. I'll put notes on the bottom of the video. But this particular system also runs in Springfield XDs, Sig Sauers, and Berettas. That's only to mention a few. And obviously the Glock. They do sell the full system with the front, the forend, and the stock, the shoulder stock. They do sell it, but for that you do have to pay a tax fee of $200. I don't really think you need it, guys. I run a 1-point sling on the back of this, a 1-point shoulder sling, and I think that's enough. Put a little bit of tension on that, and you really don't need the that rear stock. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm a one-man band here, so please bear with me. Alright, guys, I hope I can break this down a little bit. I'm going to set you guys down for a bit. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to break down the Glock, the gun, and I want to swap out that barrel, just so you could see what that 9mm conversion can do. Alright, this is a field stripped Glock right here, guys. That's the Gen 2 single spring system that came original and that's the original barrel. These here are the original parts. That's a conversion system. You could run it as such. You could run it, just slide it right in, and it slides right in, guys. You can run it with that same 1 spring recoil rod, or you can do a double if you choose to run a higher plus P, which means extra gunpowder. Essentially, it's essentially extra powder, and it packs a harder punch, a harder, tougher recoil. You could run it like this. You don't have to go out and buy this part, and I don't know if they discontinued them or not, but I lucked out. I bought this years ago, some years back, along with the 9mm conversion. Like I said, run the just put that in, rack the slide, and 9mm magazines. And look at that, guys. Is that versatility? Now instead of running 40 Smith & Wesson, as noted on there, you're running a 9mm. A lot more inexpensive. You can take that to the range. A lot more inexpensive. Just a few points on the versatility behind a Glock, and there's companies that are made and started and become huge companies. It's a huge market. These aftermarket products, such as the Roni Glock, the magazine extensions, the extensions and whatnot, and then the high capacity Glock rounds. Glock, guys, is one of the most versatile guns you can buy. This is the kind of system you want. Alright, guys, any questions? Post them. Hit me up. I'm out. Rudy El Segundo.